What do you need to be great? What is it that you need which you don't have in order for you to be great? Well, we're learning in this section that what you need to be great already lies inside of you. If you are to look into what God has already equipped you with, you're able to utilize that and you will reach your greatness. Good day. Welcome once again to my Bible and I Daily Devotion. We look at a chapter from the Bible each and every weekday. Before we even look into this section, let's close our eyes with a word of prayer. Our gracious Father in heaven, Lord, thank you for this day, Lord, and thank you for your text as we're about, Lord, to receive of your message this day. Lord, enter into our hearts and help us to be most receptive of your word. This is my humble prayer in your mighty name, Lord. Amen. So yes, we're looking at the book of 2 Kings chapter 11 as well as verses 12. We're looking at the reign of King Joash, okay? I want us to look at verses 11, chapter 11 verse 21 as well as chapter 12 verses 2. They read as follows. First, chapter 11, verse 21. Joash was 7 years old when he became king. As well as chapter 12, verse 2, which says, Joash did what was right in the sight of the Lord all the days in which Jehoiada the priest instructed him. May the Lord add a blessing to his word now and forevermore. Amen. We're seeing in these sections how the youngest king so far, okay, he became king at a tender age of 7 years. Some may argue that he did not have enough experience. Some may argue that he did not really, have enough guidance. He did not really know what needed to be done. He probably was still trying to figure out himself and his own growth levels, okay, at 7. And yet we see here that did not stop God from having him appointed as king, okay? And he was able to use him for a period of 40 years. Joash grew into this position of being king, okay? And ultimately we see that there was a particular trait which he had, or something inside of him which he had. He was an obedient person. He used that obedience. God was able to instruct him through the prophet, and because of that he was able to act in ways which are pleasant in the sight of God. What do we learn from this section? We learn here that us reaching our greatness does not necessarily rely on external factors. It does not rely on us having certain things, okay? We don't necessarily have to have wealth. We don't have to be in certain places, be known by certain people, have certain things, okay? We don't even have to have certain degrees and have certain accomplishments. No, if we're able to use what God has already equipped us with, if we're able to have a certain trait inside of us, we're able to work on our greatness. So let us stop undermining ourselves. Sometimes we stop from reaching our greatness because we undermine what God has already equipped us with. At the tender age of 7, the kind of obedience, the kind of a focus that Joash had was enough for him to become king. So let us stop trying to compare ourselves with other people and say, you know what, no one before me at the age of 7 has ever accomplished this, so therefore I also can't. No. God can use us. He wants to use us at our individual point in life. So let us trust what God has equipped us with. Let us use what God has equipped us with. And let us ensure that it's going to be pleasant in the sight of God. It's going to aid towards, accomplishing the mission which God ultimately wants, which is that of spreading his love, of spreading his word with the rest of the world. So if we're able to do that, then it does not matter how much knowledge we have. God is all-knowing. It does not matter what we have. God has it all. It does not matter, the experience that we have. We don't have to be perfect people, okay? But if we rely on God's perfection, if we rely on God's wisdom, if we rely on his strength, if his strength becomes our strength, if we are going to be so submissive that we allow him to orchestrate us in ways that are much bigger than we ever can accomplish, then we will reach our greatness. So that's what I learned in this section here. A wonderful experience and wonderful story, okay, of King Joash. And we see that because he had this kind of a character that was allowing that God orchestrate his life, he was able to accomplish great things. God was able to use him, okay? And even the temple of God was now being able to be renewed from being damaged, was being, the damages were being prepared or repaired because of the fact that this young king devoted himself completely to what God wanted to be done. So it is high time that we devote ourselves completely to God, okay? Let us look at what God has given us and let's give it completely to him and say, Lord, what I have, what I have, I will give to you. Lord, use me with what I have, with all that I have. And God is faithful to use us with what He's already equipped us with. And you know what? We too will be cultivated. We too will be groomed. We too will grow, okay? Because sometimes the most hardest step for us to take, sometimes is that first step. But once we have taken that first step, God is faithful to carry us on and lead us to the other steps which are to follow. And sometimes after we've taken that first step, we see that, yes, the other steps, okay, are actually, they're a lot more possible. We see that, this actually can be done, okay? Sometimes we allow fear and worry and concern to just trap us, okay? The devil uses those mechanisms to try and trap us so that we don't do God's work. So let us not allow that to be stumbling blocks in our lives anymore. But instead, let's use what God has already gifted us with, what God has already equipped us with, and let's step inside, that character, okay? That character of humility, which God definitely can use. And if we're able to do that, God is going to assist us in reaching our ultimate greatness as well. So yes, do you have what it needs to be great? Yes. What you need to be your best is already inside of you. You already have it. Just step into that greatness, and God is going to maximize it. God is going to, add onto it and ensure that you become the best that you are intended to be. So as we end the session, let's close our eyes with a word of prayer. Our gracious Father in heaven, Lord, thank you for the reminder, Lord, that we no longer should look down upon ourselves, upon what you've already given us, Lord. Let us look, Lord, at your greatness and rely on your strength, Lord, and understand that you're able to accomplish great things, Lord, if we come to you as we are, if we submit ourselves to you wholeheartedly, Lord, and allow ourselves to be used by you. Lord, be with us this day, Lord. Help us to continue to act in ways which are pleasant in your sight. Lord, this is my humble prayer. In your mighty name, Lord. Amen. May we all be blessed this day. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Take care.